Everyone was freaking out yesterday about that massive Bitcoin dump, but I actually do think that there's a potential bottom looming for the price of Bitcoin, and in today's video I will explain to you guys why I think a bottom is close, and also I will share with you guys my brand new trading idea for the price of Bitcoin, and also I will be giving my high time frame analysis on one of my favorite altcoins, aka Chainlink. The first thing that we have to do in order to determine a bias for the week on Bitcoin is to determine where the draw on liquidity is, and currently in my opinion this is very plain and simple for two reasons. The first reason being is that we took out the major liquidity pool that was resting beneath the previous local low. So the sell side liquidity pool on the higher time frame has been taken out as we speak. Now, second of all is because of this dump over here. Now, why do I think that this dump is important liquidity wise? Because look at the timing of this dump. We can see that the timing of this dump was taking place on a Sunday, most of it. Now, we know that we can never ever trust moves that occur either during bank holidays or over the weekend, which means that the high that initiated this impulse to the downside over the weekend remains a major draw on liquidity, and I always indicate this by weekend liquidity. A major draw on liquidity towards the upside after we took out a major draw on liquidity towards the downside. Now, the second reason why I'm expecting more upside for Bitcoin and why my bias for this week is bullish is due to this major wick that we put in over here. Last week, when Donald Trump was holding its press conference and was revealing the tariffs, we could see that the price of Bitcoin was shooting up in a matter of a few minutes. While shooting up, it was mitigating the liquidity pool that was resting above these highs. Now we know that if price shoots up in a very quick and swift way, and at the same time mitigates an important liquidity pool and leaves behind a massive wick to the downside right over here, we know that this wick will act as a draw on liquidity. And we know that this wick sooner or later, and I'm expecting this week, to get filled at least for 50%, which means that we do not only have one big draw on liquidity with a weekend liquidity, but we also have a second major draw on liquidity towards the upside for Bitcoin with this massive wick. So even though a lot of people were freaking out yesterday on this dump to the downside, I simply look at the chart and I try to decrypt the story that the chart is trying to tell me. And I'm thinking that the chart is trying to tell me that more upside for this week is likely for Bitcoin. Now, the next question that you are probably wondering is, okay, Yip, you're bullish, but how are we going to profit from a potential move towards the upside? Now, the answer to this question is relatively simple in my opinion, because I'm looking for a potential long since we have found an interesting trigger. For Bitcoin, we could see when we analyze the structure that we got a very impulsive move to the downside over here, and then Bitcoin started slow grinding to the downside right over here. While slow grinding to the downside, the price made a little push to the upside over here. Within that push, we also slow grinded. We put in a fake break of structure over here, and we swept some liquidity above the high over here, putting in another fake break of structure, and then we got another very impulsive move to the downside over here. Did you know that Keton is one of the oldest trading ports? Speaking of trading, make sure to like and subscribe to not miss out on any of my trading related updates. While getting that last impulsive move to the downside, the price of Bitcoin also put in a bearish displacement over here, and it put in another bearish displacement right over here. Now, if you see a push to the downside like this, you would like bears to maintain their control by not retracing this impulse down. Because price made a pushback above these bearish displacements over here, as we can see, and also the price made a local break of structure over here, I do think that we are looking at a potential temporary local bottom, and I do think that the current local low is a potential low that might remain protected for the remainder of the week right over here for Bitcoin. Now, that means that I have found my trigger by this valid break of structure after this impulse to the downside. We have a draw on liquidity to the upside. We just took out a major draw on liquidity to the downside, so I started looking for potential executions. And now the reason why I'm interested in longs on Bitcoin is also due to this slow grind to the upside over here. Because when we talk about an execution, we always want to enter where other people are getting stopped out. Now, how can I know where people are getting stopped out? I can figure that out by analyzing price action from the past, figuring out the human reaction based off the price action from the past, and then I can figure out where people are placing their stops. Now, when I analyze the current local structure, I can see one fake break of structure over here and another fake break of structure over here. Now, I think that on this impulse to the upside and also on this impulse to the upside, people were hopping into breakout longs, targeting potential high levels for Bitcoin, and the exact same goes for this breakout over here. Another update video, which means another giveaway. As always, I'm once again giving away a membership to what I think is the most authentic, but also the best trading community in the space, Tribe Capital. Today, I'm not giving away a 1 month free membership, but today I'm giving away a 3-month free membership. All that you need to do is comment down below the word Chainlink, and I will reveal the winner to this giveaway in 2 days from now on both my Twitter account. You can find the link down below in the description, but also I will once again reveal the winner through a YouTube community post. Now, where are those people placing their stop loss? Exactly beneath the low over here or beneath the low over here, because those are the lows that were initiating this impulse to the upside and also this impulse to the upside. So those are the lows that people will use to cover their stop loss. Now, this means that these lows contain a lot of liquidity. I'm using this low for a potential entry point. There's another area where I think there's quite some liquidity resting for the price of Bitcoin, and I think it's beneath these two equal lows right over here. So for Bitcoin, when I'm looking for an execution, it will be either in this liquidity pool over here with my stop loss beneath that current local low, targeting that weekend liquidity and also that 50% wick fill level, or it can be a potential second entry point beneath a sweep of that equal low right over here with the same invalidation and then also the same target, the weekend liquidity pool, but also that 50% wick fill. Now, this is my current long trading idea on the price of Bitcoin. A lot of people have been asking me when I start looking for swing longs on altcoins, and my favorite altcoin to trade is Chainlink, and I do think that this higher time frame chart is shaping up for a potential beautiful swing long trade, because what we can see is that we have a beautiful higher time frame range that has been formed over the past couple of years with some beautiful pivots to form that range low level over here, in which we can see that the range low has constantly been getting respected as support and resistance. We have a beautiful mid-range level that has been getting respected as support or resistance and has seen a couple of deviations, and obviously the current all-time high is acting as our range high for Chainlink. Now, what we can see when we zoom into the local price action for Chainlink is that after this very strong and impulsive move to the upside, Chainlink has started slow grinding to the downside. We can see that when we analyze the structure, we are constantly forming lower highs and lower lows. Lower highs and lower lows. Now, the current price action is very interesting to me, because what we can see is that the price of Chainlink is once more creating a lower low. This means that this lower high over here that brought us to that lower low becomes a significant high to break. Now, this high carries extra significance in my opinion due to the fact that this low that brought us to this high swept a lot of liquidity beneath the low over here, which means that not only this high is a significant high to break, but the low that brought us to that high also carries a lot of significance, adding the significance of a potential break of structure over here. Now, we can also see that currently Chainlink is potentially forming a second bigger deviation after a first smaller deviation over here beneath the range low area. While doing so, it is also tagging into this major high time frame demand area for the price of Chainlink that was being formed upon this liquidity sweep right over here. So as long as Chainlink holds that demand area and gets a push towards the upside and pushes above this significant high to break, I need a candle open and a candle close on the daily time frame above the significant high in order to confirm the break of structure. But if it does, then I'm looking for a higher low play on Chainlink with a very clean invalidation beneath that local low, and then I'll be targeting the mid-range liquidity pool over here around $30, but eventually I'm also targeting a new all-time high for Chainlink, because we all know that Donald Trump is also slowly but surely accumulating more and more Chainlink, and if I get this swing long trigger, I will be entering this major swing long on Chainlink, targeting new all-time highs for a massive RR of approximately 6.22. Another update video has been completed. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you guys do have any questions after watching today's update, feel free to let me know in the comments down below, and I will make sure to answer all of the questions for you guys. Now, before you leave, I want to ask you for a tiny favor. If you would like to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel, it would honestly mean the world to me. And I'll catch you guys on the next update video. Peace!